Alright, hey guys, today we'll be talking about simultaneous equations, so let's get right into it. So simultaneous equations are any set of two equations, right? So I'm just going to make anything up here. Let's change it to x plus y equals 2 and 2x plus y equals 2. So these are just random equations I just came up with. So these are two equations, and what simultaneous equation does is that by solving it, we determine what the value of x and y is. Alright, so we find what x is, what y is. There's some sort of connection between these two equations which allows us to solve for x and y. Alright, because if we were to solve this alone, x plus y equals 2, there's no way we can solve that because we don't know two things here. These are called variables, by the way. And there's basically two main ways to do it. One is what I call dust. That's not what it's called officially, but that's how I remember it from high school. And the other thing is called substitution. Dust is basically different add, same subtract. Alright, so what we do is, so that's just, we're going to use this example again. So x plus y equals 2 to x plus y equals 2. Alright, so what we see is these, what does is basically we cancel out either the x value or the y value, and then we solve for one variable, and then we substitute the other value back in. I know that sounds a bit too much, but it might overwhelm you, but let's have a look. So we see here same and different basically are talking about symbols. Here we see that the symbols here are the same. Alright, so what we do is, so we see it's either different or same. So it's same, so what we do is we subtract. So x minus 2y is minus x, y minus y is 0, and 2 minus 2 is 0. So what we determine from this is minus x equals 0, so x equals to 0. Okay, once we determine what x is, we substitute that value back in. So 0, because x is 0 here, plus y equals 2. So y is equal to 2. Alright, so we have our answer. X equals 0, y equals 2. That's basically how you solve it. If the same example over there which I just talked about had a minus sign here, say here, then what we're going to do is we're going to do different. So the symbols are different. Sorry, the signs are different, so we got to add the equations and then we solve it the same way. Okay, but the main idea here is to make sure that we either cancel y or we cancel x. Okay, so that's that. One more note about this. So there's two equations, x plus y equals 2, 2x plus y equals 2, let's say, and 3x plus 2y equals 3, for instance. We either want this and this number to be the same, or we want this number, which is 1, and this number to be the same. Okay, so here if we were to eliminate x, what we'll do is the lowest number in which they're similar is 6. So 6 here, so 6x, since we multiply this by 3, because 2 times 3 is 6. We do the same here, so 6x plus 3y equals 2. 2 times 3, which is 6. Okay, and we want this to be 6 as well. So for instance, this would be 3 times 2, which is 6, 2 times 2, which is 4, and 3 times 2, which is 6 again. Yes, and then we solve it the same way. But here we're eliminating y because they have the same number before them. Since they have the same signs, we subtract. So this would basically be minus y equals to 0, so y is equal to 0. All right, you guys got the idea? So that's basically how you solve this. Yeah, okay. And then once at the substitution method, it does something very similar to this. We're basically solving it, but what we do is we input one of the equations. Let me just show you guys. X plus y equals 2, for instance, and 2x plus y equals 2. Alright, so what we're going to do is we want to substitute x plus y equals 2 into this equation. So what we do is we change this equation either in terms of x or in terms of y. So if x is equal to 2 minus y, because we moved y to this side, alright, subtract y from both sides, we substitute this value in here. So 2 minus y plus y equals to 2. So 4 minus 2y plus y equals to 2. That is minus y equals to minus 2. And then therefore y is equal to 2. Alright. Also, if you guys notice, I made a small error here. And what I want you guys is to identify that error and tell me what it is. All right. So this is basically how these equations work. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through two examples and have a look at how to solve them. So this here question, we already know that the y variables are the same, right? As in they have the same number before them, which is number 1. So using the DOS rule, different add, same, subtract, they're the same, so we subtract them. So x equals to 3. Sorry about that. 11 minus 8 is 3, 3 minus 2 is 1, so x equals 3. And then we substitute this value back in. So 3 times 3 is 9 plus y equals 11, so y is equal to 2. Alright, understood? Alright, and then if we do this by the method of substitution, we have 3x plus y equals 11, 2x plus y equals to 8. So what we do is we can change it in terms of y or x, but I'm going to prefer to use this equation. You have to use the easier equation. This is what I think is easier for me. So this would be 2x equals to 8 minus y. So x equals to 8 minus y times half. Okay, and then we substitute this value in here. So that's 4 minus half y times 3 plus y equals 11. 12 minus 3 over 2y plus y equals 11. You move that to the other side, and then you get something like minus half y equals to 1. So y equals to minus 1, so y equals to 2. And then you sub this value back into this equation, so you get 3x plus 2 equals 11. 3x equals 11 minus 2 equals and so therefore x equals 3. So you see we get the same answer. Now honestly, if you look at this, you'll see that this is a much longer method than doing this. If you have simple equations like this one for instance, it's much better to use the DOS method, but once you rise and once you do harder equations, then the method of substitution is a lot better. You'll get that by practice. Alright, let's have a look at this one. So 3a plus 2b equals 17, 4a minus b equals 30. Using the DOS rule, different add, same subtract. They're different, so we're going to subtract. So one thing before we do that is to make sure that these two have the same coefficient before them. So 3a plus 2b equals 17. We want to make this into 2b minus 2b, so we multiply the entire equation by 2. So 8a minus 2b equals 60. We subtract now, so minus 5a. This gets cancelled out. Yeah, so this goes away because 2b plus minus 2b equals to 0. And then 17 minus 60 is, let me get the calculator, is minus 43. And therefore using this we get a is equal to 43 over 5. And yeah, I made a small mistake here. Sorry about that, guys. What we got to do here is, since it's different add, we need to do 8 plus 3, which is 11y. 11a, sorry. And then 17 plus 60 is 77. Alright, you see, if you don't practice enough, then you're likely to make the mistake. So then a is equal to 7. You sub this value back into one of the equations. So 3 times 7 plus 2b equals 17. 21 plus 2b equals to 17. So b equals to minus 2. Alright. And for the other method, you just, for the substitution method, you do 4a equals to 13 minus plus b. So a is basically 1 over 4b plus, what would that be? 15 over 2. You sub this value in here, you find the value of a, and you find the value of b. Alright, that's how you do that. And I want to leave you guys with a hard question. So if you can do this, you can do any question. I want you guys to find the value of x and the value of y, but what you have here are letters. Since there are numbers, you have letters. Think of these letters as numbers. So here I want you guys to know which method to use. I'm just going to give you a clue. Use the substitution method, okay? Because it's very difficult to use the DOS method here, since we don't really know the official values of these, so we can't really count. Yeah, and since we can't cancel y and x out, what we're going to do is we're going to use a substitution method and solve for x and y. I'm just going to leave a small step here. So ax equals to 3 minus by. So x equals to 3 minus by over a. You substitute into the other equation, you find x and you find y. Right? I'll post the answer in the next video, but this is all it is for this video. Thank you guys for your attention.